Alright, we're going to be watching another video by Codkimo. This is now Platinum 1, and it is on Gibraltar, and they are going to be playing Tracer and Soldier. I'm on a very bad moment in Overwatch. I want to understand what are the main problems. I know that my aim is not that good, that I'm not that good with Tracer in general, but I still want to master her. What should I focus more? Not for Tracer specifically, but in general. Positioning, surviving, target priority, aim. I already submitted a VOD in another post, and for those who are going to see that as well, I reduced my sensitivity by about half the session just to give it a shot. What do you think about that? Should I go lower or higher? So I'll start by talking about sensitivity. So it's really hard to say. In general, I would say the vast majority of players have a sensitivity that's too high in my experience. I would say probably, depending on your rank, I would say if you're at like Masters GM, you probably have the right sensitivity or very close to it. But if you're below Masters, and you don't have a lot of experience playing other FPS games, I would guess your sensitivity is probably too high. I would say that applies to 80 to 95% of the people out there, that your sensitivity is too high, and that lowering your sensitivity is pretty much always going to make you better at aiming. That being said, if you just change your sensitivity, you're still going to be adjusting to it, like from a muscle memory perspective. So showing the game that you right after you change it is not going to be very helpful, because you might be missing shots just because you're not getting used to it, even if the aim might be better for you, if that makes sense. So I think it's really hard to say too much about aim. I think you really need to play for at least an hour or so before you start like kind of kicking in. And even things like flicks will be way off base. If you change your sensitivity, it'll still take you quite a few more hours to get used to it. Number two, I reviewed the previous one earlier. They asked me to do this one, so I'm happy to do so. So for context, in the previous video, when they played Soldier, I think the Soldier overall looked good, but the problem is avoidable deaths. They just died in ways where, like, for example, they got a Junker Queen knife stuck in them and they just didn't run away. They just stayed in the front line and they got pulled out of position and died. Stuff like that happened a lot, and it's a big reason why they ended up losing that game. Their Tracer was a significant drop off in skill compared to their Soldier and Reaper in that game, and I would say the biggest reason is that their timing is not very good. Like, they don't know when to be going in, and there's way too much downtime when they're flanking, which we're still going to see a little bit in this game. I pre-watched like the first few minutes, but this is a long one, so I didn't do the whole thing. All right, so let's start watching here. So we're going to come out the left flank door. This is fine. Oh, 1 second. Got to turn on the sound. All right, sorry. Had some sound issues initially. All right, we're good. So we're starting the game. You take the left flank door. You're going to come forwards now. This is good. I think that you could have blinked out at least once, if not twice, to get out here faster, which would help you sync with your team. Because if we look on the vertical view real quick, your team's already out there fighting, and you see you're flanking. This is a big problem. I think as long as the fight's not over, and typically fight outside your spawn is never really over, you should be getting in there sooner. So you take this very, very long flank to get out here, and it just takes you too long. And for example, if you just did like, hey, 1, 2, even 3 blinks out here, and then come out here, and by the time you get here, you're probably like 1.5, 2 blinks, then you'll be able to fight a lot sooner and help your team out. Instead, your timing is out of sync with your team. So by the time you end up engaging, and this is a good engage right here, by the time you end up engaging, you see that a lot of your team is already dead. Your tank is dead. I think your other DPS is dead. Yeah, it's just your 2 supports left. So basically, you're going to end up fighting like 1-on-5 because your supports are going to run out of here in a moment, and your tank is dead, and your other DPS is dead. So you got to get out here sooner, right? Syncing your attack, right, your quote-unquote dive with your team is very, very important. But the Kiriko is isolated here. This is a really good opportunity. I think that your expectation here is to force Swift Step. I wouldn't think you could get a kill here because she has Suzu and Swift Step, but you should definitely force Swift Step here and then potentially be able to follow up after that as your team respawns. So you're going to go in, and now let's take a second to talk about expected value of bursts, right? Every single burst, like the 40 rounds that you fire. So for expected value, I'm going to talk through this game about whether or not you did a great job, because we're talking about aim, right? So we're going to talk a little about aim. Whether you did a great job, a good job, an okay job, or a bad job. So a good job is, I would say, pretty normal. That's probably like 50 to 52% win rate if you're hitting those regularly, along with everything else being fine, obviously. So that's when you go up and you're hitting about as many shots as I would expect, right? That's good. Okay? And it's not going to be a specific number. Like, I can't say the accuracy is 60% or 40% or whatever, because it depends on how big the enemy target is, how fast they're moving, are you distracted or disrupted in any other way, etc., etc. So, for example, Kiriko here, right? Is she dodging you or not? If she's not dodging you, a good number might be like 60%. But if she is sorry, she's not dodging. I would say probably higher than that, probably like 70% plus, right? Also, distance matters too, right? From here, 70% plus would be crazy, right? But here, 70% plus is quite straightforward. If she's actively dodging you, a good burst might only be like 45% or 40% because she's actively dodging you. If it's a tank, though, I think your expected value is like 90%, even at this distance or this distance, the tank's dodging or not, because they're just so large. So there's so many factors to go into it, but I'm going to talk through that to give you an idea for like, is your aim actually a problem here or not? So again, good is pretty much expected, right? That's fine. You're not carrying with your aim, but you're not throwing because of your aim by any means. Great is like, hey, that's a better than expected value. That's like, you know, your aim is kind of carrying, like adding extra value on top of what would be expected. Okay is like, not good, right? You're firing less than you should, but enough that like most of the time it's not going to cost you the fight. And then bad would be like, that was really under what would be expected, and that's the kind of thing that very well is likely to cause you a fight. So talking through this first burst, okay, now I won't do this micro detail on every single one, we'll just talk through this first one slowly. So going for this one, Kiriko's not looking at you, she's not reacting to you, she's a relatively thin target, but she's moving in a straight line, so I would expect a good burst here to be something like 60% plus. So this was okay, right? But you got, you know, about 80 damage to her. That's okay. I would have liked you to hit about 100 here on good, and great would be even better than that, right? Great would be like 150 plus. For the record, you could actually one clip her here in just one burst. One clipping meaning killing her in one burst if your aim was better and you're aiming slightly higher to make sure you get headshots. That's something else that you don't do very much. You don't aim for the head. But just noting the highest end range would actually be a kill there, but I don't expect that. I don't think it's realistic to expect that you can one clip people on a regular basis, even ones that aren't dodging you. You force Suzu out, which is great. You also force Swift Step, great. So you reset here, and then from here, let's think for a second. What should I be doing right now as Tracer? Well, as a reminder, your team is dead. We know this because you should watch the kill feed, right? You know how long your rotation took. You can see the entire map, right? That matters right here. You can see that you don't have any teammates here. So there's 5 people alive right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th person? Oh yeah. Soldier's just standing in front of the door for some reason. So there's 5 people alive right now. This is not the time to be fighting. It is not your job to go in right now and make space. That's your tank's job. Your tank is dead. You need to wait for your tank to respawn. So right now, just chill. Just be like, look, I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to cut off their retreat path, but I don't want to be fighting right now because you can't really do very much. Poke if you want to, right? At distance, do a little bit of damage, farm multi, but you can't kill anyone right now. It's almost impossible. Even if you're like a god tier tracer, no one's dying right now. So you're going to blink away, but then you blink back in. And this is a big mistake. So you just wasted 2 blinks. You used 1 to go backwards, even though nobody was looking at you, and there's no pressure on you whatsoever. And number 2, you used the second blink to go in. This is where you could have been to begin with, but you shouldn't really be here because the timing isn't good. But regardless, you used 2 of your blinks, so now you only have 1 blink left, which is very dangerous. Your whole play of Tracer is going to revolve around how many blinks do I have, and do I have rewind available? All of the decisions you make change based on those variables. Okay? If I don't have rewind right now, I play very differently than when I do have rewind. If I have 3 blinks versus 0 blinks versus 2 blinks, everything changes based upon your resources, right? Your health, your blinks, and your rewind. And you could add on to that also your current ult charge / if you have ult available and do you have ammo available. Anyway, I think this is a bad engage right now. So I will say the aim there was great. That is definitely above average, even though I know the Mei is not explicitly dodging you, but you basically hit like 90% plus of this clip, I think. Yeah, I mean, not quite 90%, but like I would say like 80% plus. That's great. I think that's above average for your level expected. So you nearly one clipped this Mei, right? With slightly better aim and a little more headshots, you could actually have one clipped her. But now you realize, hey, you're in trouble. You're trying to get the melee kill. She's not actually low enough to melee, but you know it's fine. You rewind immediately, and then they're going to chase you, and then you're going to blink away. So note right now that you have wasted rewind here, and you've wasted now 2 of your blinks, right? 2 of your blinks to get to that position, and you pulled them away from the door, but you don't need to do that. Like your team, I guarantee you, will be able to get out of their spawn. Why? Because they're invincible, right? Just standing right here, they can shoot the enemy and force them back. You didn't need to do this right now to force them away from that quote-unquote choke. Like they cannot fight here, no matter how good they are. They cannot fight here and hold against the attacking team because of the spawn advantage and the spawn doors making them invincible. So this might seem like you made good value by distracting the team, but it's not the right time and it's not the right situation. And that's really hard to understand and learn. Like this as Tracer is like, hey, I made the whole team turn on me, but like, was that actually helpful? And that's something I see a lot in other Tracer posts where they're like, oh, I made the whole team turn, like I made them chase me. Why do I still lose games? Why does my team suck? It's because it doesn't happen at the right time. The time is everything. Anyway, that's kind of point number one. Point number two is you end up blinking over here. Okay, this is fine. You have one blink left. And then you're going to use another blink here. This last blink is a mistake, I would say. I just want to confirm the fire strike, though. Yeah, you could just walk around the corner. So what I would do here is I would walk around the corner and confirm, did they follow me or not? And if they follow you to this point and you're like, oh shit, I'm in trouble, then use that blink. But you're far enough away and you still have a blink left that you can wait here. Because one blink away means that you need one blink to get back in. Does that make sense? Every blink that takes you away from a fight is one more blink you have to burn to get back in. I'm full health here. I don't rewind, which is a mistake, but I am full health here, right? I just want to chill here, right? See if they follow. If they don't follow, wait for their attention to be back on my team, and then I could do one blink in and then go fight. Instead, you take this long rotation all the way over here, which you don't need to do. There's literally no reason to do this. And then you come back to this corner, but it's like 10 seconds later. Does that make sense? I say that as though you can answer, but hopefully that makes sense that you wasted a lot of time here that you could have been waiting right here, and now you would have all three blinks and rewind about to go, and now you can go and fight. Now is the time, right, in about 2 seconds where you need to be going in, because your team is starting to pressure the front, walls used, right, Mei is half health, you could be going in right now and just one clip to Mei, for example, if she can't get block off in time. So you go in, you go with Lucio, that's, I would say good, right, good burst, you did about 100 damage to Lucio. Now, you're going to ignore the Lucio, which is a mistake. First of all, killing supports first is generally a good idea for all heroes. Number two, the Lucio's already half health because you shot him to half health. Number three, the Lucio's trying to fight you, so yeah, kill a Lucio. This is right now, just focus the Lucio. See, you're trying to go kill the soldier. The problem is, hitting the soldier at this range is a lot harder, right? Soldier's not that wide of a hitbox. He's pretty far away. Why not just kill a Lucio who's in your face coming at you? Also, Lucio's going to boop you around, which is going to make your aim harder, right? You try to shoot him, you get booped away. You could have been shooting the Lucio this whole time. Even if the Kiriko's healing him, that's fine. That means neither support is healing their team. If the Lucio's fighting you and the Kiriko is healing the Lucio, that means the rest of the team is getting zero support. So you see, this is what I would consider a bad burst, right? You're looking for the fight here. I wouldn't have done that blink right there. I don't think it was necessary. Lucio's not a high damage hero, so you can kind of stick around and fight him. He would have to hit all 4 body shots to kill you in one hit. But we see this burst. He's moving in mostly a straight line, not particularly dodging. He's also jumping, which makes things easier. That should have been at least a 40-50% shot, and you hit like 10%. So same deal here, right? I think that was a hard angle, but I would expect at least 25% there. You hit 0. So you rewind. One thing is that you wait too long to rewind, which means rewind puts you back to 3 seconds. You've been low so long that now you only go back to 75 instead of 150, which is something else you need to be cognizant of, right? When you drop low, right now, you can just rewind right now and get all of your health back. You could empty one clip into the Lucio, rewind, you'll have all your ammo back, and then shoot again right away. But now you only have 75, which makes you nervous to take this fight. Well, yeah, now you're nervous to take a fight, and now you leave. But this is not the kind of value you want to see out of Tracer, right? This is the kind of thing where you need to do a lot more damage in this fight, have a lot more staying power, and it's because your mechanics are off. Your mechanics and ability usage are off. Very, very important. You also missed the Mega over here. I can't believe the Lucio didn't kill you right then. Alright, so Lucio is making a big mistake. He's horribly overextended. He should die here, and he does. Alright, Life Weaver heals you up. By the way, make sure to get all of your health. As Tracer, especially missing 115 health can be a big problem for you, and can sometimes result in you dying before you can react. So you go for the soldier. I think that was okay, not good. Another okay, not good. That was bad, right? You missed almost all of that. Alright, so you're going to drop right here, and then you're going to stick the Rhine, which I think is okay. I think ideally you want to stick someone who doesn't have as much health, but taking 350 health out against a Rhine who's close to the front, I think this is alright. It's actually going to work out even better because the Mei's going to walk into it, which is very lucky. The Rhine walks into the Mei, either way. One note is, I would say 90% of the time after you throw Pulse Bomb, you should rewind. So let's think about why that is. If you watch like all other gameplay, like high-level Tracer gameplay, they'll rewind like 90% of the time. And the reason being is usually in order to throw a pulse, you need to blink in. So you're going to burn, let's say, 1 or 2 blinks to get in. That's number one, is that you're just low on blinks, so it's hard to get out of that situation. Number two is the situation you're in is in a lot of danger because you're right next to someone who's about to explode, right? Obviously, because you threw it. But number two, it usually means you're in the middle of the opposing team. So the safest thing to do is to just rewind out. The problem is if you blink out here, let's say you blink backwards over here, and then Kiriko hits you with a body shot or something, and then you rewind, it'll put you back on high ground, but now you have no blinks and no rewind. Versus if you rewind right away, you'll still maintain at least 1 blink or whatever, and it gives you some option to play around that. Right? So you try to blink and stay out of it, but Kiriko headshots you, and then you end up dying. So that's a mistake. You should not be dead right now. Your team's going to win the fight anyway, but you should not be dead right now. Alright, so we're going to go over here. Your team mostly killed everybody without you, I think. Right? Like, yeah, by the time you get here, I think the fight's pretty much over. Yeah, I mean, they pop Blizzard, Whole Hog, etc. Like, this fight's won. So now you want to chase down, get kills, get picks here. I think that coming out, Tracer's really good in chase down situations. I think you could, for example, double blink over and try to blow up the Lucio. You could go after the Soldier. There's so many options here, but shooting this far away is not useful. Right? Look at the Lucio. You just did 15 damage to him. That does not matter. That damage is irrelevant. But if you were up here, you would have done like 75 or 100 damage to him. And playing that distance correctly is important. Tracer does no damage from this far out. You really need to get around here, depending on how big they are, right? Like tank or DPS or support. And ideally, somewhere like here is getting really good, and up here is great, right? This is usually where you're hitting a ton of damage. So try to get closer to enemies when there's no danger. Lucio is not dangerous to you. Can he kill you? He could, but the odds of him killing you are not high. Especially with Rewind, there's almost no way he could possibly kill you. He would literally have to hit all 4 headshots to one clip you, right? Because he does 20 damage per shot. So you have to do all 4 that the headshot you for 160 damage. That's like 0% chance that would happen. Even if there's a GM Lucio, there's no way he's going to quadruple headshot you unless you're standing still. It's just not going to happen. So Lucio's on you. There's no reason to be blinking away. Take challenges that are good for you. Tracer versus Lucio, good challenge. Fight this. Your job as Tracer is to win these fights. You are mechanically advantaged here by the nature of your hero's kit. You do way more damage than him, and you're more evasive, and you have a smaller hitbox. And you rewind. All of those tools are in your favor. If Lucio runs over to you to try to take a 1v1, take the 1v1. It's different if you don't have health, if you don't have rewind, if you don't have blinks, right? Right? Those are different, or Lucio's nanoed or something. Like that's a different story. But in a straight 1v1 where nobody else is here, take the fight against the Lucio, right? Gladly. I will fight this to the death. Not that you have to, right? Because you rewind blinks, but I will happily fight that to the death. Because as Tracer, and I'm not like a particularly good Tracer, but like I'm going to win that fight like 90% plus of the time. I want to punish the Lucio for making a mistake trying to fight me. I would be very careful moving straight lines towards a Kiriko. So notice right now, let's look at your movement from the Kiriko perspective. So you're going to be running straight at me, right? So I could have headshot you right there. I could headshot you right now, right? Now you're walking. Now you're finally starting to dodge, okay? Be very careful moving in straight lines on the Kiriko, especially as Tracer. So Soldier's high ground right now. If he becomes a problem, you can get on top, right? You can go this way and go up. You could go to the left and go up. You could conceivably have gone back if you were spawning, right? Go up these stairs and go up. You got a lot of options here to push the Soldier off if you have to. There's also, I'm pretty sure, lots of jumps you could do. Like you could probably climb on this and then do one jump onto the shuttle. I haven't practiced that. I think that's a big part of Tracer, is understanding every single map and the Tracer jump spots. There's probably guides out there. I certainly don't have it because I don't know them. But something to learn is the jump spots to get elevation as Tracer is going to be very important. Especially if you want to climb out a diamond, I think you probably need to learn a lot of those. Anyway, you're staying on the ground. So the Soldier's kind of lighting you up from down there because nobody is dealing with him, which is a problem. One thing to note against Mei is that Mei does 75 damage with Icicle. Double damage for headshots means a 150, so Mei can one-tap you to the head. You should always respect this. The same way that you would play differently against a Hanzo or a Widow, respect Mei when you're playing Tracer because she can one-tap you. So you don't keep track of where the Mei is, you step out into the open, you're not dodging at all, and she just headshots and kills you. This is a bad death. There's no reason for this to have happened. Frankly, you even need to step out this way, right? You could have just been here, right, and fighting would have been totally fine. Yeah, very avoidable, unnecessary death. Coming out again. Mei is going to pop ulti here. You have so many tools to get out of this, right? 1-2 blinks out this way, 1 blink out this way, right? Or rewind if you absolutely have to. So you jump into the wall, and this is a general thing that I've kind of noted from this video and the last video, which is that I don't think your knowledge of the map is that strong, right? I think a lot of people who played a lot more hours in Gibraltar would know there's a block here that'll prevent you from going back. You seem confused as to what's happening here. You're like, wait, what? Right, watch it. You can go back here and be like, wait, you're probably trying to move backwards, and then you're like, oh, why am I not moving backwards? So that's already problem number one, just not being able to navigate the map. As Tracer, especially important, right? As supports, you can usually get by without knowing the map too well. As tanks, some areas are really important to know, some areas it doesn't really matter. But as someone like Tracer, you really need to know the map super well. Like every little detail of the map is important. And something like this is a very avoidable death. But even then, let's assume even you made a mistake, like it's gonna happen, like you mispress it. Let's say you knew it was there, but you mispress it and you step over here. Just hit rewind, right? Just rewind right now and you're fine. But you don't hit rewind either. You're gonna sit here, and then Soldier's gonna end up killing you. So another avoidable death. So you're gonna come out, right? As soon as you see Mei, yep, you have to be very careful. You respect the Mei, good. So try not to go out. You're not a brawly hero, okay? Do not play with your team. You want to sync your attacks with your team, but don't play with your team. Because if you stand here, everyone's looking at you, everyone spams you, no advantage of surprise. You could go to the left. You could go up the stairs and take high ground, right? You got options here, but do not go out that same door as your Roadhog. That is a bad idea. All right, good. So you rotate over here, but the problem is you wasted time and blinks to get here. You should be at this door a few seconds earlier with all 3 blinks, right? But anyway, you're here now. That's good. I would say, yeah, you did pretty good job on the Kiriko there. So you did 75 damage. She's 1 clippable right now. That was okay, but you forced Suzu at least. That was okay only, right? You could have done basically all the damage right there. But you do get, that's good, right? That's good. That's pretty much what I would expect. So this is a good example of like good versus great, or even okay versus good. If you had been hitting all good shots, she dies 1 burst earlier. So you don't have to do this final commit to kill her. If all of them were good, instead of having an okay thrown in there too. So you're gonna double blink out. Good. I think that's good on the Soldier. That's okay on the Soldier. You go pulse. Landing pulses is gonna be a huge problem. I'm gonna tell you right now. It is really hard to land pulses. It's one of the hardest ultimates in the game. I would say only behind probably Primal Rage, and arguably actually harder than Primal Rage to land pulse bombs. So I think there's I don't know what the code is, but I've seen out there that there are pulse bomb training workshops. I strongly recommend you practice those for like a couple hours. Landing pulse bombs is critical to Tracer. You have to stick people with it. Never rely on the ground to kill anybody. Just, you have to stick people with it. It is very, very hard skill. Like, I'm not going to try to pretend that it's easy. It's not. It's very, 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 very hard to land pulse bombs. I would feel more confident as a Kiriko double headshotting the Soldier in this space than I would landing pulse bomb, for perspective as to how hard I think it is to land pulse bombs. But regardless, you have to land them. All right, this is a fairly straightforward pulse bomb. There's not a lot of space for him to go. I think you could have just done a quick toss right there. So you miss it. You also did not finish your clip. You should pretty much always finish your clip as Tracer. There's no reason to stop because your reload is relatively quick. So you're going to fire all the way down to 2, and then you throw the pulse. But the problem is now you're reloaded, which I don't think you realized. You fire, which would have been a really good opportunity to do like 150 plus damage because he was jumping in a straight line. But you don't have ammo. You melee. Right, you do the blink again. That was great. That was great tracking. Like, that is definitely not expected. So you go right here and watch tracking again. Not as good as I hoped. It looked better in real time, but it's still really good. I think still covers great. I think you still 1-clipped him. It's surprising he took so much damage from that though, because you look kind of off. But regardless, you know, we 1-clipped him. He's dead. It's really good. So you come back to the team, get healing, great. You want to hunt down that Lucio. So he's going through left side, which means he has to come out through the right door. There's only one possible way you can get out, which is this way. So you can go down here, right, cut him off, kill him. There's no reason to be on cart. Tracer's job is almost never to be on cart or point, other than to stall in an overtime situation. So you should not have let this Lucio get out. Right? See, the Lucio is going through underneath. This is another example where I'm like, I don't think you know the maps well to know that this is the only way. There's literally the only way for him to get out of this spawn, right, is to go out through that left door. So you should have been right here waiting for him to blow him up. And because you are not right there waiting for him, he ends up coming out and he ends up escaping. This Lucio should be dead right now. which means the next fight should be 5v4 instead of 5v5, and you could have controlled that, which would make it a lot more likely you'd win the next fight. Especially because Lucio's beat. Holy wow, that was huge, right? If you killed Lucio there or forced out B, that was massive value that you could have had. I know you're going to win this offensive push anyway, but it's not always about how things end up at the end, right? It's an accumulation of the right things to do along the way. All right, good burst in the Kiriko. I would be very careful blinking straight at her. I would probably avoid any of these straight line blinks. So straight line blinks is when you blink like this, versus if you blink to her side like that is a better blink. Right? See how you blink straight at her? It strongly increases the chances she will hit you and increases the chances that she will headshot you. Right? This is a good side blink. Right? You rotate, you rewind, fine, yep. Great. I think that overall I think you did the duel well. Like, could have been better? Absolutely. But for your level, I think it was good. So you're a little slow starting to shoot the soldier. You should have immediately tracked them right away. Like right now, you should already be shooting. Is he saying hi? What the heck is happening here? Oh, no, he's just reloading. Okay. Yeah, very lucky you caught him while he was reloading because you were low as well. Moving the cart. Roadhog's doing his job. Yeah, kill the Mei. Great. Go back. We cap. Oh, wait. Someone's coming to contest. All right, Lucio's still here. And that was okay. That was bad, obviously. So you're having trouble keeping up with the Lucio. As a general tip, unless you are like Reinhardt, I would not suggest standing on top of the cart because it changes like worry about the vertical element. Just walk to the side of the cart and then like it's gonna be a lot easier to hit because you're going up while he's going up and down. If you just stay on the ground, you don't have to worry about that as much. It's easier to aim. You really should have killed Lucio by now. This is very, very bad. So again, when he's this low, right, just one blink out here, right? Blink, turn, kill, and he instantly dies. Now you get super low, you're forced to rewind. Lucio's still alive, which is really bad for you. So you're going to throw this pulse. This is obviously a bad pulse. His shield was up, he was backing away from you. There's no reason to believe this would ever do anything. For some reason, the Rein puts his shield down and charges into it, which is going to kill the Lucio and do damage to him. This is blind luck. There's no reason for this to happen. This is an unforced error on their side. All the Rein had to do was just hold shield here, and he's good. Like, I can't even explain why he did this. But he's going to eat that. Very lucky. Oh, for the record, what could you have done differently in terms of the pulse is one thing you have to learn. I don't know how possible this is on console, but it's a very common PC technique, is the 180, right? You blink through them, turn, and then you fire a clip or pulse or whatever it is. Okay, it's a very, very important technique for Tracer, and you should learn and practice that on bots and things like that, is one blink through, turn, and do it. One thing to be aware of, don't do it from too far away. Like if I'm here, I blink, I'm going to end up in their face, which is bad. I die, right? But you have to understand what's the distance of blink, know exactly how far back it's going to put you, so blink will put you right about here, and then you do one clip or pulse, and you could have pulsed to the Rein. You could have one clip pulse, or rather, you could have pulsed one clip, and then he would be dead, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the tank anymore. Rein's dead. Great. Okay, we cap it. High ground. Ash gets pulled. Nothing really here really matters. We're just in chase down mode. So yeah, chase him down, get kills. Yeah, go. Okay, you should have meleeed. Of all times, I feel like you melee all the other times, but I don't know why you don't melee right now. Right? I also don't know how she doesn't hear you. And just melee. She's less than 25 health. Remember, every box is 25. She easily dies here. And then she's gonna live. This is like disastrous. This is a huge, huge misplay by you. Alright, so this last point I don't think is particularly good for Tracer. It's okay though. I think you're thinking about, look, I want to control the right hall and I want to control upper. Because going main is always going to be bad for you. And this left room is not particularly good as an angle. It's like okay depending on their positioning, but I think in general controlling right room makes the most sense. There's also the Mega on that side and the Mini over here for you to use. But playing main right now is a mistake. You need to immediately start rotating. Alright, Tracer's super low, or rather Risa's super low. You're tunnel visioning on her. You start getting low, you need to rewind right now, but you don't. I think you get a Cassidy shot. Yeah, Cassidy plus Soldier. And this is the reason why you don't stand in main, okay? There's just too many, you're too delicate, too low in health. If people start focusing you, you die so fast that you can't react to it in time. Versus if you were over here, you're not going to die instantly. Like maybe the Cassidy hits you with a headshot, great. Rewind, blink away, whatever, right? You don't have to worry about multiple people shooting at you, instantly killing you like this. Right? This is a very, very fast death, but it's preventable by not being in that position to begin with. All right, your team's rolling. I would keep blinking here, right? Get up to the fight sooner. It's unlikely anyone will target you because, There's your Roadhog's in their face. You want to kill the soldier? Don't melee. He's not meleeable anyway. That was bad aim. All right, and cap. So switching to soldier. I might start going a little faster because I feel like this replay is already getting very long. So you're gonna shoot at Lucio again. Happily challenge Lucio. I don't know why you don't have healing station. Why did you use healing station? Yeah, don't deploy healing station first. Healing station has a 14-second cooldown. This is a mistake. And now you don't have healing station when you actually need it, which is right here. I would have saved Helix, by the way, for right now, but you should put down healing station right now and just fight out the Lucio and kill him, and just duel to the death. There's no reason the Lucio should win that fight. He has almost no way mathematically of beating you as long as you have heal station. You also have a support with you. Again, another heal station that's of no good value. You already have a support with you, right? Kiriko's been with you the whole time. You don't need to put down heal station. Don't waste abilities when you don't need them. Kiriko is pocketing you right now. You're not low. Don't use heal station. All right, looking around. Okay, it's going the other side. Fine. You rotate over here. Pick the Lucio right now, right? Fight him to death. Yeah. So one thing is that you don't use Helix well. So right now, when he's going along the left wall, he's going to ride the left wall. Just Helix right here, and he dies. Helix is 120 damage on a direct hit. This is an instant kill right now if you pop Helix. Even right now, yeah, you pop it way too late, and you put down healing station too late because you don't have healing station available. So this Lucio basically solos you right now. This should never happen, and it happens because, not because your aim, obviously your aim could be better, but you're not using Helix at the right time and the right opportunity, and you're not using healing station. You should consider practicing deathmatch as soldier and just running through a few hours of that just to get used to winning duels quickly, right, and confirming kills. You respawn, you go out the right door. So just from game sense, I know the fight is going to happen further in because their team has momentum. We're missing a support. I don't want to be fighting here right now. I want to be rotating up to high ground and going up here and playing up here because they don't have anything to challenge me off high ground because they don't have any vertical mobility except for the Lucio. But you staying down here is very dangerous. You definitely shouldn't be getting over here. You need to stay to the left to have an escape route. You have no escape plan here other than running through spawn, which, as mentioned, they can cut you off. So Ryan charges in, and you're not screwed. The second he did that, which is a good charge by him, you're screwed. There's no way for you to get out of the situation, and you just die. So another avoidable death, and all you had to do was be oh, instead of going this way, play over here, right? Or immediately start rotating up high ground because you know you're not going to be able to do anything right now anyway. Right, Ryan charges in and you're just dead. Once Ryan charges in, there's literally nothing you could do differently to survive. So coming out, hook happens. As soon as you hear that hook go off, your job is to hit the Cassidy, right? So for example, you could have pre-helixed here or just shot him out of the air. The Cassidy should die right now. Instead, you're shooting the Ash. You kill her with the helix, which is good, but that's a lot less consistent than killing the hook that Cassidy. So shooting the Ryan here is the lowest value, but he is low. Okay, you missed his helix, which is really bad. So this is a 100% helix. There's no reason to ever miss this helix. All you'd be okay, he's going slightly to the right, fire it slightly to the right. Fire right at his left gauntlet, basically. Right here, and then you just guarantee this kill, because he should die right now. Yeah, now you tried too late, because you're oh, now maybe I can finish him? The problem is right now he's got 50 health. That's 2 melees, which is going to take you 2 seconds. His supports are going to get there, which is exactly what happens. You see the yellow healing aura. So now the fight's over. At this point, you'd be nope, and just sprint and get out, because there's no way to win. Little things like this are very costly over the course of the game, right? Stuff like this costs you fights, costs you wins, right? Fights, losing fights means losing games. This is a very straightforward kill in the Rhine. Could you actually win this fight? I don't think so, because there's way too many people left, but for sure this Rhine should have died. It's a mistake of him to charge you. All right. Playing over here, as a reminder, again, Cassidy Soldier not a good brawl hero. You should not be playing here. Take the time, rotate up, take this high ground, or if you came out sooner, you could rotate and take this high ground. This high ground is a nightmare for them to deal with if they have no vertical mobility. You can stay up here and literally win the game yourself just by preventing them from ever forcing you off high ground. Oh, you shoot here, shoot the back line, oh, take some damage, heal station, shoot the back line, shoot the back line, right? Oh, took more damage, drop, get the mega, great, come back up, repeat, do this over and over and over again. Oh, they're going to push my team, pop visor, kill the back line. It really is that straightforward if they don't take high ground from you. And if they take high ground from you, your team can shoot them as they try to rotate to take high ground, right? And then you just kite them away. You don't have to die if they take high ground, just run away. You're trying to rotate, but this is kind of a late rotate. Oh, you're not even rotating at all. This is bad. Right, don't stand out in the open. So Kitsune is popped right now. Again, don't be shooting the tank. The tank is really not going to die here. Tanks do not die if supports are alive. That's a good general rule. Is the tank with the supports? Are the supports alive? The tank's not going to die. Shoot anybody else who's not the tank. So shoot the Kiriko here. Shoot the Cassidy, who has got 70 health. Not that you know that, right? Shoot the Ash here, who's got 25, 30 health and on fire. Like, these are the people you need to be killing, not the tank. You're not a tank buster. Right? Again, if you want to kill the tank, you should play somebody like Hanzo or Reaper or Torb, right? Those are really, really good. Symmetra, really, really good at killing tanks. Soldier, not very much. Your advantage, like the style of Soldier, is that you do very consistent damage at short, medium, and medium to long range. That's what you do with a little bit of burst from Helix. That's what you're good at, and you should prioritize playing that way, not shooting a tank, which is not going to help you win. Even Discord is not going to help you win. So beat gets popped. All you can do right now is kite or take high ground. Honestly, the best thing right now would be, again, go up, take high ground, right? Wait beat out, and then start killing the backline. Playing low ground means that they can force you out. It prevents angles. Helixing shields is almost never something you should do. It's a waste of the helix. You pop, so you don't reload here, and you pop heal station even though you don't need it. Right? You're at 200 health right now. Why are you popping helix? This is, see, the Lucio is discorded right now, which means that if you had Helix, you could one-tap him with the Helix alone. This is why wasting Helix on shield is such a bad idea. You shouldn't have meleeed. Again, don't melee people unless they're actually going to die to the melee. Melee only does 30 damage. This Lucio is nowhere close to dying. It reduces your DPS a lot to melee. Just finish the reload, shoot him, and then Helix can kill. Okay, I like the way you're just like, oh, forget that. I don't want to fight this Lucio anymore. This is not the correct call. The correct call here is to fight the Lucio and win the fight. Like, you have to win the fight against the Lucio. Otherwise, you're going to lose. All right, kill the Ash. Great. You're playing up here. See the Cassidy. All right, good. Chasing him down. Kiriko's in. Great. Help with the Kiriko. Kill the Cassidy. Good. Work on the Rhine. Yeah, obviously have some trouble navigating there. Fine, that's all. That's good. Be careful for Ash headshots. Ash headshot without Mercy Pocket does 140, I want to say. I can't remember. 160? I think it's 160. So if you're below 160, be careful one shots. You fire the Helix, great, killer. As a general rule, I try to fire Helixes low. That way it'll splash on the ground in case it misses the direct. So again, take space. Take space on the left side. But now it's too late because Cassidy just took it from you. See, now the Cassidy's up there, you have to fight Cassidy in a disadvantageous situation. Because if he hits you with a sticky, you're going to die here. Yeah, right click. You should aim the head. This is a kill you should have had. Oh, yeah, you don't react at all to the roll. Now you pop Visor, but why do you drop? You don't need to drop. Right, just stay up here. Just pop Visor, kill everybody. Right, kill the Cassie first, kill the Ash. Great. You don't need to drop. Remember, Visor doesn't make you any stronger. This is a common mistake for soldiers at lower ranks, is they pop Visor and they're like, oh, I'm invincible, I'll kill everybody. It doesn't increase your health at all. Oh, it only makes you auto-aim, so be very careful with that. Yeah, kill the Bob. Great. Continue holding high ground. Yeah, poke, okay, good. Yeah, poke the Lucio, good, right, good aim. You don't need heal station right now, right? You took 60 damage. I would just step back slightly. The Kiriko's trying to heal you. The Zen's trying to heal you. Just step back slightly. Let your supports heal you. Right? Don't waste heal station right now. Right? So that's another heal station wasted. This aim is no good. Right? It's really hard for me to tell. Like, is it because you changed your sensitivity? Is it because you would have missed it anyway? I have no idea. Right? That's why you need to spend time actually getting used to new sensitivity. So beats popped. But you need to fight right now. Like, your team's going to get run over. Like, you have to fight. Look for the Widow. You hear the grapple. You've already heard the grapple on the right. I would already be looking up for her. Like, those sound cues are really important. So, aim's no good there. This aim is okay, right? But you're shooting the right target, which is good. The Helix is off target. So, at this point, I would probably think about dropping really enough just because make sure I can confirm the kills. Right? At this point, it's getting intense enough. I don't want my tanks to die. Just drop down here, get kills. No one's looking at you anyway. Like, you can make it a lot easier yourself by getting a little closer. Anyway, the fight's over. Clean up. Going back up top. Alright, so they're gone Zarya now. So Genji, I'm going to assume that Genji's going to come contest me. I want to save heal station to fight Genji. Okay? Very important as DPS, you have to learn how to win duels against every hero in the game, especially DPS. Right? Every DPS be like, what is my game plan for fighting that DPS? Which is pretty much always the same, right? For Genji, you poke him down, stay out of close range. Once he starts committing to a fight with you, pop heal station, then fight it out. Save Helix for when you know he does not have deflect, or pop it next to him where he cannot deflect it. That is your always game plan for Soldier, right? But you gotta poke out the Genji. Very important to poke out the Genji. Okay, great. Get him in the head. So as soon as this happens, right? He goes in, I pop heal station right now, finish my reload, and then start the duel. I do not use Helix yet. With heal station up, especially if I stay over here where my supports can heal me, there's almost no way this Genji's going to win this duel against you. As long as heal station's down, the Genji cannot win a duel against you. Unless there's a huge difference in skill. So it's a mistake for you to pop Helix right now. Again, I don't know why the Genji doesn't have deflect right now, but he should have deflect. If he deflects and he deflects into you, you're just dead. Big mistake for him to not have it. So he's also making mistakes, right? No reason for this to have happened. By the way, you got him so low right now, right? Just pop heal station. Just pop heal station. Right? You didn't need to drop, right? You're way ahead in that fight. You're like 80 plus health ahead of him. And now you've given up high ground unnecessarily. So we're going to back up to high ground. It's good that you're taking high ground now, finally. Yeah, poke out the back. I would shoot the Soldier right now. Soldier's most vulnerable, but Genji's going to come up for you right now. That poke is really bad. So the reason why you're getting hit right now is you're just moving forwards, backwards like this, right? This is not dodging. This is dodging, right? AD strafing is dodging. Forwards, backwards is not dodging, right? Whenever you're dodging, almost always you want to be going left, right. There's like more complex ones where you're doing like figure eights, but like for the most part, like AD dodging is going to get you all the way up in the GM. So Genji's looking at you, right? You eat that headshot from the Kiriko. This means you immediately need to drop. But you've kind of thrown the fight right here. It's very lucky the Genji, when he dashes up, he actually misses the ledge, but he should be up right now in your face, and then you just die. He just walks in, pops deflect in your face, like deflect, chases you around, and right clicks and you die instantly. This is a big mistake by the Genji. So now you've wasted heal station, which is no good. Oh, okay. So you're tunnel visioning right now. You're like, okay, not paying attention to where anybody else is. For example, the Soldier's on high ground, the Genji's on your left. You would have heard the Genji coming as well. So you can hear this Genji coming up behind you. I don't know if you're wearing a headset, but please wear a headset. The directional audio should tell you someone's coming up on your left and be like, okay, I gotta get ready to fight this duel with the Genji. Because frankly, if you give up this high ground, you're probably gonna lose anyway, but you could also drop here. But you're gonna pop visor with a Soldier on high ground who's gonna shoot you and a Genji who's right behind you. This is the worst time to pop visor, and you decide to drop down here for no reason, and then you just get obliterated and do literally nothing. This kind of stuff, like, you gotta clean this up, right? Sounds gotta tell you, okay, Genji's coming at me, also I was low, also I use heal station, I gotta know they gotta come after me, right? Genji's gonna have to try to fight me, like, that's, and like, where is the Soldier, like, what's the status of the fight, all of these things. I know it's hard to keep track of, but like, that's what's causing you to lose games, right? This kind of stuff. So you run back out. Thankfully your team is still holding. Your team is like doing honestly a heroic job. Good tracking there. Again, go back, take high ground. Yep, you taking high ground. Yep, shoot him away. Soldier's in a cheeky spot. I've never seen a... Oh no, there's a Pharah. I'm like, what the heck? I've never seen a Soldier up there. How did he get up there? Okay, so Pharah's going high right. You should also know right now that there is a Pharah in the game. So you should be hitting scoreboard tab all the time, checking, especially when people die. Check, like, hey, what did they come back as? So came back as a Pharah, so you should know that there's a Pharah in the game right now. I would know there's a Pharah in the game right now. I bet you do not. And plan accordingly. Pharah, most common route they take is up here to the left over the top. Most common part by far. So you should be playing in such a way that you can see the Pharah coming and deal with her accordingly. But you do not know there's a Pharah, so you're not looking there at all. Pharah's can come over the right. You could have heard that boost. Now you see it. The problem is at this point you have to drop. There's no way to win that fight consistently. Trance is pop. With Trance pop, fight it. Trance heals 300 health a second. It's almost impossible to die here unless you get bursted down crazy fast. So just don't stand still, but like fight this out for sure. Like you need to fight and get a kill right now. There's no reason to be dodging anymore once Trance was popped. I suspect as a general concept, you're having a lot of trouble tracking all the things that happen in a game. You know, like I don't think you even know that trance is happening right now, is my guess, because you're not reacting accordingly to it at all. All right, so over here, shooting, shooting, shooting. So, by the way, your job here is less so to kill the Zarya. She's like sort of low, but it's really to kill the Pharaoh right now. But like after Suzu happens right now, Suzu lasts for half a second. So after this, you should immediately switch targets and kill the Pharaoh. Especially the Pharaoh is so low right now. Not that you know that, unless you've done the damage earlier. Kill the Pharaoh, please. Like your team literally can't do anything about the Pharaoh. It has to be you. So from your perspective, like you gotta keep poking out the Pharaoh. Now you're looking for a great. Yeah, see now you get a quick kill on her. There's no need to reload after this. Like you're like, oh, gotta kill, reload. You still have 24 ammo when there's a Zarya in front of you. You can just shoot this out. All right. You see the Genji over there? Yep, great. Kill the Zarya. Kill Lucio. Right, he looks the ground behind them. Right, chase down. Genji, great, cool. These are all kind of straightforward cleanup kills. Gonna reset. So you should have taken the opportunity to take high ground. Again, high ground super important. Go up here. You should also be using scoreboard to check whether or not they switched heroes. So they switched to Sombra. So you should know there's a Sombra in this game. You get hacked. So for Sombra in the game, you need to be ready for the hack noise and either turn and interrupt it right away, which is very difficult, or just pop heal station right now and then fight it out, and then you should win that no problem. As long as you have heal station down, it's very hard for anyone to beat you in a duel, except for like Reaper or one shots like Hanzo. So not knowing that Sombra's there means that you're not thinking about it. They're not thinking about it, which means you get hacked, which means you don't put heal station down. You don't react to this right away. So even let's say you don't get heal station down in time, you could turn and immediately start like dueling her, right? But the problem is that you just kind of run in such a way that she's able to track you, does a lot of damage to you. Now you're in big trouble. You put heal station down, and then you run into her and point blank helix, which takes out 50 of your own health, which forces you to die. So this was unnecessary, right? From here, just AD strafe right now, helix her feet right in front of you. That way you don't take the splash damage. There's no reason to walk in front of her and eat that. You can come through, you're sitting on cards. I mean, this is all just card stalling. You're going to die no matter what. Alright, so we're going to hold here. Don't jump, especially against Widow. Do not jump. You could have shot and killed her, by the way. So you hit her, helix, but shoot right. Just shoot right now, right? Shoot right now and she would die. Like 2 bullets right now kills her. Right? Yeah, she's at 1 bullet. 1 bullet would kill her. I don't know if it's damage level. I think not. So 1 bullet would have killed her right there. So you're not tracking where anybody is. So from the start, you see the Cassidy's here. You shoot them. Okay, great. You're holding high ground. Put heal station down. You didn't need to because your Kiriko's with you again. The Widow has been high right the whole time. You're just not looking at her, not looking at the side of your screen. Now you start the fight. You don't see where the Cassidy goes here, to be fair, but you would hear the Cassidy. Right now, you should have been able to hear the Cassidy. So you should hear the Cassidy right now, and you'd be like, oh shoot, start the duel. Right? Again, when I say start the duel, I mean like turn, face towards him, and immediately start AD strafing. That's what I mean by start the duel, not ignore him completely right here, where you just get double tapped and then the Widow kills you. So that's really bad. Your team's still holding. Your team feels like way better than their team. Running up. Shooting, right? Well, I don't know why you stopped shooting here, right? You could have just shot her. You could have helixed her. A lot of things would have resulted in the kill here. You put down heal station now despite being a 200 health. Like 197. Like you don't need the heal station right now. You're fine. You're good. Like that 3 health is not going to make a difference. It's not going to stop a Widow headshot from killing you. You helix him out of the air, which is actually good. I actually would have kept shooting here. Right? Just shoot. Like you should win right now. Like running away is not the right call. See, he's wraithing because he thinks he's going to lose the fight, and he's like, "Oh, cool, you ran away." That's not the right call, right? If you get into a duel with DPS and both of you are running away, one of you is making a mistake because one of you is favored to win, so you should be fighting to win. All right, come out here again. Beat goes off. Your team is just steamrolling there. So, yeah, I mean, there's nothing really for you to do. Like the fight's already over by the time you get back. All right, I'm gonna presume this is gonna end up in a win because the game's not a lot of time. 2 minutes? Yeah, it's impossible for you to not have won this. So you come out here. it feels like you're having what I call the school of fish problem, where there's too many targets, you don't know who to focus. Focus the Baptiste, right? He's the closest one to you, and he's a support. Shoot the Baptiste, but instead you shoot between the two of them, right? And now you're like, now you finally go for the Junkrat. You don't do a lot of damage to either one of them, and then just sit here and die. Like, this is just like tunnel visioning, right? Like, you're just sitting here doing nothing, blinking into a wall, right? One blink into the wall, second blink into the wall, and there's no reason for this, right? No reason for this, right? Just play the corner, shoot a little bit, right? Wait for your team to engage, wait for their attention to be pulled, then go in. Yeah, no reason to die here, especially with rewind and a blink. Like, everything kind of goes wrong there. You go Soldier or Ashe. Okay, well, I mean, Ashe is good here, right? You go for the Junkrat. Bastion, yep. Bastion's getting low. Nobody's healing him. Excellent, we'll take it. You should throw Dynamite out. Pop it. Good. Right, you can come back. Yep, get healed. Look for shots. It's nothing really common here. I mean, you're just shooting. I don't think this is a good coach gun. I think you're trying to get on high, but I don't have a great feel for coach gun distance, but I think you, at a minimum, need to be right here to coach gun up. But I don't think you need to do this at all. I think if you just swing wide here, you'll get all the angles you need to shoot people. This, as Ashe, as a medium to long range hero, there's no reason to be playing this close to the enemy. Ryan jumps in. Ryan's overcommitted. You should kill the Ryan right now. Like, this is a bad charge by the Ryan. I know right away. He's charged around the corner into 5 people. There's no cover here, and his team's really far away. Also, one of his healers is Lucio, who's not going to be able to heal him at all. And the other one is Baptiste, who's, way in the back over here. You should just kill the Ryan right now. So now you get up. Yep, this works. But now you're exposed to the Bastion, and you should be dead. But you're lucky. But the problem is now you're kind of stuck up here for a while. Right? Ping healing. You have a Kiriko on your team. Kiriko comes to heal you. You leave, and then you die. Another avoidable death, right? If you're going to be up here, like, look at the Kiriko, ping X, or whatever it is on console, have them come and heal you, and you're good to go, right? You're just too impatient. You're like, I guess nobody will ever heal me, even though someone came at that exact moment to heal you. You probably should have fired a scope shot first, but it's good. And the wiping, and your team's gonna end up winning. But honestly, I don't think you did very much this game. Like, my read here is I think your team was just way better than theirs. A lot of these fights end up getting won, even though you didn't do anything in them. I guess sometimes you like distracted one of their DPS, but like this is a steamroll of a win without your team, without you really need to do a lot of it. Okay, recapping. I'm not gonna talk about Ashe at all. It's not worth it. You played so little time. For Soldier, I think heal station usage is number 1 problem, and number 2 is number 1 problem I would say is take high ground, take off angles. Number 2 is heal station usage is really poor. You're using it lots of times where you're not damaged, not being attacked, have a support healing you, etc., etc. It's really suboptimal. As Tracer, time your attacks, sync your attacks with your team, right? Try to maintain better uptime. I think that's like the overarching thing, right? Is just syncing your attacks to your team. But there's also lots of mechanical things you need to work on. So, for example, your aim and landing pulse bombs is very, very important. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this is helpful.